Alright, well I've wanted to talk about this knife for quite a while now, but I just never got around to it, so we're doing it now! And that knife is the Spyderco Delica 4. If you're interested, I'll have a link to Amazon in the description so you can go check it out there if you so desire. First off the bat, this is an awesome knife, okay? I'm just going to come flat out and say it. This thing's awesome. Let's knock a couple specs out of the way first, just to get them out of the way. It has a sub 3-inch blade, so you're looking at a 2.875. So it says Blade Ops, or Blade HQ, I mean. Get them mixed up. So sub 3-inch blade. We're looking at an overall length of a little over 7 inches, 7.125. What else do we got here? VG10 steel. I think they have a couple different steel variants on them, but this one's a VG10. And half serrated. Nothing too major else I got to talk about with the specs. This is kind of your basics. FRN handle, textured. This, I feel, is the perfect size knife for any task, okay? And now, not necessarily a tactical knife. You're not looking at like a tactical blade here, okay? But as far as an EDC knife goes, the sub 3-inch blade, it's going to get everything that you're going to need it to. I opted for the half serrated version. I'm not a huge fan of serrations though, but the reason why I got this one in half serrated is because I feel like there's a lot of cheaper, quote unquote, like cheaper knives, like the knockoff dollar store knives that they copied a Delica's design because the Delica is such a good design, you know, and a good knife. So it's I guess, easy design to copy. If that makes sense, that doesn't make sense, but if it does, you know, just roll with it, okay? But it's a really good design, and so a lot of them copied us, and I figured, you know what? I want to carry a good knife on me sometimes, but I don't want something that's going to freak someone out. Like, case in point, you carry a ZTO 561 on you. I mean, this is an awesome knife, but you pull this out, you're gonna scare the hell out of someone. You pull this guy out, not a knife people really aren't gonna freak. I don't feel like they are as much as if you pull out a ZT. Just saying, you know. And especially with the half serrations, it kind of gives that more generic type look. Oh, excuse me. Man, them allergies are getting to me. So it's not going to freak people out as much as if you pull out like a 5,000 foot folder. I'm just kidding. Pocket clip. I love Spyderco's pocket clips. And we're bumping the camera. Spyderco's pocket clips are really good. They're normally painted, which, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the paint, but it does give them a really slick feel as far as like sliding in and out of the pocket goes. And I've never really had an issue with any falling out on me. So even though they're not exactly the tightest clips, they have a decent amount of retention as far as like if you're wearing jeans or like from jeans to suit pants, you know, they grip really well and there's enough room in here to collect enough material for your jeans. Because that's an issue that some knives have where I don't think I actually have a example. Okay, here's an example actually. So in this Benchmade 51, obviously this isn't a knife that you're going to be EDCing a lot, but if you look under that clip there, there's not a whole ton of room to collect material. So if you go to put this on a pair of jeans, it's going to kind of stretch the clip and you might end up having some bending issues eventually. I've had it happen before with some knives, but Spyderco's are really good. They give you that nice big camera turn. Nice big gap there. And here's another really big advantage about a Delica, okay? If I had to recommend a knife to someone, like a beginner and I knew nothing about them, I'd recommend a Delica or an Endura, which we'll get into in a second here for comparison. But the Endura is basically just a bigger Delica. But a couple of reasons why this could just be recommended to anybody without even knowing their needs for a knife. You have tip up or tip down carry, okay? So your pocket clip can be reversible, so it's left or right handed, tip up actually, or tip down. So you can put that pocket clip any way you want. So you can carry the knife in any orientation you want. That is a huge advantage to these. A lot of knives are just solo. Let's see here. Well, here's a Benchmade 51 or 53, sorry. And this is only tip up, okay? Left or right-handed. Some knives don't have, you know, the option to go left-handed. But if you want to tip down, which I am not a fan of tip down, but if you were, you can't do it with that knife. Other knives, this isn't a good example, but like this Microtech Vector, tip down only. See, now I'm not a huge fan of that at all, but it's only tip down. You can't non-reversible, not tip up, only tip down. Not so with the Delicas. The Delicas you can configure in any way you want. And another, okay, we'll get into that in a second. I keep pushing stuff off, but you know, Spyderco opening hole, awesome design. That, yeah, dropping it. The Spider hole is one of the best opening systems ever designed by man. Period. Reason for that. Now we need another example. All right. Here's the ZT. You have a thumb stud. Okay, this is an ambidextrous thumb stud. Okay, so not going into all the ambidextricities, if that's a word. You can have ambidextrous thumb studs, okay? Spider hole is ambidextrous, but here's an advantage the Spider hole has over everything else, in my personal opinion. You're feeling for that thumb stud. Your finger can slip off it, okay? So in a situation, a stressful situation, muscle memory, you're going to be feeling for it, you're going to slip off that, okay? It's not exactly the most assured way of deploying knife. I mean, it works, but you need direct pressure on a specific point, and it's easy to slip off that. Not so with the Spider hole. Why, you ask? Physics. Your thumb falls into that, and it ain't going nowhere. Your thumb actually can pop out to the other side of the blade. It ain't going nowhere, and I can't flick this open on camera. But it is not going nowhere. It is really easy to feel for that. Really, easy to feel for the hole. Your thumb's not going to slip off it. Even if your hands were wet, you'd pretty much still be able to actuate that fine. Just fine. Not so with a thumb stud. Another big advantage of these guys, I'm just like, the big advantage, I mean, you can tell I love this knife. I've actually convinced my brother to buy one of these, and he carries it all the time. It's the only knife he actually the only knife that he ever carries. It's kind of funny. So, these are lockbacks. I am a huge fan of a lockback design. I feel like they're the strongest, or the most sturdiest type of lock mechanism. Your mileage may vary, so it says nothing fancy. I'm just a huge fan of them. And Spyderco does something really ingenious with these, and that's they put a dent. A Harvey dent. I believe it's actually a David Boyle dent. Or it's David Boyle's the one that invented it. Maybe. I could be BSing you, I don't know. But they put a dent in here. So you don't even have to look at your knife to feel where that lockback is. Because right now, I mean, this is all smooth here. But then you feel, oh, there's a dent. Push it. And you're unlocked. As you can see the actuation of that right there. Not that you wanted to see it, but you did. And here's something that's nice about closing the Spydercos, because they have this extra little, I'm forgetting the exact specific term for it here, but this piece right here is unsharpened. So when you push the lock, if you got your knife oiled up, and you take good care of it, or even if you don't, you can just, flick it down, but you push the lock and your blade will fall, hit your index finger, stay kind of in a half open position, you can reposition your hand and close it. I think it's just a really, really intuitive, fast, and safe way to close a knife. And some lockbacks don't function quite that way, because like, the edge will go all the way, like your edge will come all the way back here, and then you'd cut your finger doing that. But Spyderco just designed this knife so well, just so well, that it's kind of hilarious. Now, I have heard taking these guys apart is a little bit of a literal nightmare. A little bit of a literal nightmare. Gee, say that 5 times fast. I've never taken one apart, so I can't speak as far as that goes. If you wanted to, you got yourself your Torx. Is they Torx? I is or not know. If we can focus. There we go. So it is serviceable if you want to take it apart. I mean, since it is a lockback, it's not exactly the easiest thing to clean out, but I mean, just get some canned air in there and you'll get that cleaned out pretty quick. I haven't had too many issues about collecting like all sorts of junk and garbage in there, but what else do we want to talk about with this guy? Yes, the grip or the handle. Bidirectional, if I'm getting that correct. My bi and uni's all mixed up. Really good handle design. Nothing that's going to tear up your pocket as far as under the pocket clip goes. And what's nice is the part of the clip that actually makes contact to the handle is actually, it's hard to see it right here because since it's under the pocket clip, but it's actually the Spyderco logo, the Delica 4 logo. So that's smooth. So you're not going to be tearing up your pockets at all with this thing. That's ingenious. Spyderco did a very good job on this knife. All right, what else is there? Dang it. I guess we could do a size comparison. So, variations. Forgot to talk about the variations of this thing. So there are a million and one variations for this. So this is just the whatever grind it is. I can't remember actually because I'm so stupid with grinds. But you can get in full flat ground. Like this is a Endura 4 in full flat ground. You can get the Delicas in full flat ground. Handle combinations. There's so many different handle combos. You can get these waved. They make these with the Emerson wave feature, which I mean is just awesome. I mean, there's so many combinations of this knife. I mean, you can get them, I think you can get them full serrated, half serrated. I believe they still make the handles in stainless steel. As far as colors go, you got a myriad of colors to choose from. They're exclusives. Blade HQ has a couple exclusive colors that are really cool. There's like different combos of like, you know, greens and purples and stuff. Really nice looking. I have heard too that there are a lot of aftermarket parts for these. I haven't really looked too much into like aftermarket clips and stuff, but I do know that they exist. All right, well, now onto the size comparison. So let's say this Delica is a little bit too small for you, and you're like, well, you know, that's a nice knife. I like the way it all functions, but you know, it's a little bit too small. I kind of want something a little bit bigger. No problem, got you covered. Endura 4, a little bit bigger. It's its bigger brother, and this is just like I said, the full flat ground with the green FRN handle. But I mean, you can get an exact same combination as this if you want, you know, black handle and all that stuff. I think you can. You probably can. I don't know. I'm BSing you again, probably. Oh, and I believe that you can also get these with black coated blades if you want. So there's just so many different options. As you can see, this guy's probably about about an inch bigger. You know, maybe a little bit more. I definitely feel like that the Endura would be a great knife for if you were in a like a almost tactical knife. It would fit that role. I don't feel like that a knife is great as far as like self-defense or tactical go. I've kind of went away from that mindset. But if you were getting a knife for that purpose, the Endura would be the best shot that you'd have. But if you just want something that's like an all-around really, really good EDC knife, Delica definitely. And like I said, you know, my brother has one that's just beat to hell. And I mean, you can find so many videos of these guys online. You know, don't take my word for it. Try it. That was from, what TV show was that from? I can't remember actually. Oh well. But yeah, so like I said, I've wanted to talk about this for quite a while. It's just been sitting there glaring at me, and I'm like, I'll get to it tomorrow. Okay, I'll get to it now, because I had a little bit of time. But yeah, so like I said, if you're interested, check it out. Link to Amazon is down below, and I will see you in the next video.